Hi, I'm Laura Garces, and this is
Matthew Maldonado.
and we're Donovan Maldonado's parents. A fighter's heart to me means someone that keeps pushing through adversity and just doesn't stop fighting.
To always be ready for any type of fight. Doesn't matter if it's going to be a short fight or if it's going to be a long fight. Point is, you're in there to the end.
Well, on January 12, 2016, Donovan was walking home from school and he was hit by a car. I was actually at work when I got a phone call from my neighbor across the street, and she called me and said, where are you? Your son got into a car accident. And I was like, okay, is he okay? And she didn't want to answer me. And she put the cop on the phone, and I kept asking if he was okay, and nobody would tell me if he was okay. So that's when I knew it was bad.
I was actually in the house at the time of the accident, and the neighbors came and got me. And when I got to the corner where the accident had happened, the ambulance was already driving off, and the police officer had told me to jump in his car and that he would take me to the hospital. I told him, no, I need to go inside, get my cell phone and some things together. He said, no, you don't have time for that. He said that he'd never seen anything so terrible, horrific in his life, and that if I wanted to see my son alive, that I should come right now.
When I got there, everybody looked like they had been crying, and then I don't know if she was a doctor or somebody was there, and they said that he's not gonna make it. So I just lost it.
The first thing they told us when he was going into that surgery was one of several things could happen. The hope is that the brain would swell and then eventually within a week or so come back down. The other thing was the brain could swell and explode, in which case he would not survive, or nothing would happen and he would just stay the same.
But thankfully, the swelling came back down. However, they did have to put a permanent shunt in his head because it wasn't draining properly. So he was still in a coma. We were just praying to God that he would, heal him. And after that, they had to put in a trach, which is the tube, so that he couldn't breathe.
And then also when he woke up from the coma, he was blind, he was deaf, he couldn't speak, so he was mute.
Yeah, so it took him about 6 months for him to start speaking again, start walking again. So he had to relearn how to walk, how to talk, how to eat.
As soon as I got out of the hospital, I went back to school. I said that I always wanted to be a fighter. That way I could just take the flight part out of the fight or flight. And I kept on telling my parents that I wanted to be a fighter, and that's how my dad got in touch with Coach Mike.
I saw a post on Instagram of a young man that you guys will meet shortly, that he had an incident with a traumatic brain injury as well, and he started using boxing as therapy. And I showed our son Donny, and I showed Mom, and I said, you want to try boxing? And he was, yeah. And I was like, all right, we got to find a boxing gym. And then as I'm looking at the story, I see KO Boxing is right here in Long Island. I was like, what's better than that? So I called up Mike Corleone from KO Boxing. I told him Donnie's story real quick, and he said, can you get here right now? And we ended up coming here about an hour later.
When he first came here, I don't want to say he struggled to walk, but he wasn't exactly balanced. So, right away, I'm used to dealing with fully functioning people. Donnie was only the second person I was really dealing with who had these limitations. And I don't even like to use the word limitation now because we surpassed those already. I get choked up just thinking about it. But to see Donnie get in there and throw combinations, and he's moving, he's going left, he's going right, he's slipping and dipping. nobody could have expected that on the first day.
I think Donovan has exemplified having a fighter's heart because he never gave up. We actually were worried because he was a little lazy before the accident, and he really just blew us away with his fighting spirit during rehab and everything, and even after he came home, and how fast he healed because he didn't stop fighting. Don't limit your child. You know, sometimes we think they can't do something. Let them try, and let them try again.
Keep fighting. You know, you have to have that fighter's mentality.
And definitely, I think sports in general are so good for kids, and just put them in something. Let them try something, you know, and don't give up on your child. And Donovan's doing push-ups off on the side.
Get a champ.
Good job.